Hey everybody, this is Blair. I recently got a 2018 Goldwing here this past summer, upgraded to it from my Suzuki Boulevard. And in watching YouTube, a few videos that guys have put out, there's some issues with rocks or road debris coming up and hitting the aluminum casting right where the shifter goes into the engine case or transmission case and cracking it, and reports are that it's costing upwards of $10,000. So what I'm going to show you today is maybe not 100% correct with all of you, but this is what I did to build a skid plate, and hopefully it helps. So here's what I did. So to start with, I took a piece of cardboard, held it up underneath the bike, traced around it with a pencil and cut it out. And then I was using a light gauge metal. It was about 1/32 or probably ½ millimeter thick, and traced that out, cut it out, and I drilled a couple holes, bigger holes at the back that I was going to use for hose clamps. And I hadn't marked the front yet, but I needed to cut louvers in, so I drew some lines and I used the zip disc to cut across. And then I built a kind of a wooden mold, we'll call it, just slanted a bit, so that I could use another piece of wood and hammer to pound in louvers. So it was really quite simple, a couple taps with a hammer and the louvers were in there. And do all this before you paint it, unlike I did, because it kind of makes a mess of it if you do it after you paint. So got it all painted, and then I ordered some plastic rivets off Amazon, which are just the push in, then you can use a screwdriver to unscrew them to get them out. I drilled pilot holes, put the unit up underneath, held it, marked the plastic, and drilled the holes through the plastic. There's nothing right immediately in behind that plastic shrouding on the engine, so it worked out well putting those plastic rivets in. And the back part, I used hose clamp around the two sides of the muffler, held it in place. It's fairly solid. The louvers are going to give some wind to blow through and keep cooling sufficient. There's no rattling yet, so I haven't been out on the road. There's still lots of snow in my yard, so I am ready for spring. The other thing I did do is on the very front cowling, I pulled that piece out. There's 4 Allen keys to pull it out. And I took some stainless steel mesh and pop riveted it in so that no rocks can come up off the front tire and hit in the aluminum casing that way to potentially break anything. So I was going to paint it black, but I thought it looked good with stainless. It kind of matches the gray of the engine and whatnot, so I left it as is. And same thing, I pulled it off, drew a template with cardboard, cut it out of the stainless steel mesh, pop riveted in some rivets, aluminum rivets and washers, and bolted it back in, so that one was pretty easy to go. So all in all, it was only cost a couple dollars to build, and without painting time, it took me about an hour to do the whole thing. So it's pretty easy. If you want any more details on it, just post in the comments. Thanks, have a good day, and hopefully you don't have any issues with rocks breaking your engine and ending up with a big bill out of the deal.